According to a Gallup poll, nearly half of Americans surveyed said that they would choose a rural life over an urban one. Well, if country living is for you, we've got advice once you decide to stake your claim in the sticks. Lisa Grant joins us. She is the owner of Seawee Homes. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So how many of your clients would you say are interested in buying land as opposed to urban living?
Now more and more. It's about 75% now.
Is that right?
And I get so excited when someone wants to buy land. I think everyone should own a piece of this earth. So it's so complicated. You think you see land, let's go ahead and buy it. But there's many steps in making sure you make the best purchase.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I think it was Mark Twain that said that they're not making any more of it. So land is actually a good investment, right?
It's always a great investment, yes.
Yeah, so what is some of the advice? Because there's a lot to think about, and especially here in the low country because of our unique topography.
Exactly. So when you see that for sale sign for land, the first thing I tell them is to start with the county website. That's going to have a wealth of information. It's going to show you a GIS map.
Yeah.
And if you go on the county website, it's a geographic informational system. And it's going to show you exactly the boundary lines of this property. So a lot of times you don't know if it's a rectangular shape or a square shape or an awkward triangle shape that you're not able to build this dream home on, especially if you want a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home. So you want to make sure you go on the county websites and look at the GIS map. And I tell folks, use that for information because you're going to also see the lines of other properties. So you're going to see what's next to you. Sometimes a property may be zoned for residential or commercial, or even if you're able to install a manufactured home. A lot of folks want to come in and just put a manufactured home on a property, but it's not zoned for that. So you want to understand.
Let me ask you this question. Should people start with the size of the home that they wish to have or the land and the location?
You want to have an idea of what you're going to build because that's going to be key to the size of the property you're going to actually have. A lot of folks start with, oh, let's go ahead and buy this land, and then they want to build this big house, or they want to have a property where they have commercial and residential, and you want to make sure you understand your zoning before you go in and jump in and buy a land.
Right, because I think a lot of people, especially out west, I know that they did that, maybe they've done that here as well to a degree, but raising some old homes that are already on this piece of property and then building what people have been calling McMansions. So you're right up to the property line and you want to get the most out of that little parcel of land, but that's not necessarily the best way to go, especially if you're in a neighborhood with more than just you.
Exactly, especially where there's growth, because there are a lot of times they're expanding roads, so you don't want to build your home right exactly on the property line. There's always a buffer on either side. And also I tell clients, when you go in and you see a property that's just a raw land, you want to make sure you have access to a road or access to get to the property. I know when you hear land locked, you think, it's a cringing sound, right? However, sometimes there are easements that were in place decades ago that were never used. So a landlocked property may not be what it's used to. It may be an easement that was just there on the county website. No one used it because no one bought the land.
Oh, interesting.
So exactly, that's something a real estate agent can help you dig up and find in the county website.
So you don't have to necessarily be the Sherlock Holmes to find out all this information, but having a trusted realtor on your side is what you need. So there's a lot to think about before you jump into actually buying a piece of property. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This has been so fascinating. I think very helpful for people who are wanting to build their dream home. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're back after this.